Well, today, Kathy's tie-dyeing idea got me really excited, but it also got me nervous because it's a little out of my comfort zone. So I just decided to mix together her tie-dyeing supply with my love of watercolor. So what I did is I took these tie-dyes, which actually just come in a powder, and I put some of the powder out into this palette right here. Because normally when you're tie-dyeing, what you would do is you would actually fill the bottles themselves with water. But you know, pigment is pigment and we all find a way to play with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put out these different little powders. And once they're out, then the next step is to add some water. So let me move this all aside. And I'm just using a little spray bottle of water to add that in there. This is a nice way. I'm a bad pourer. I'm a tipper over, so this is just an easy way to do it. Now, once I have that, I'm gonna take a brush, and I've essentially made my own watercolors. So I'm gonna go in there. I'm working on some watercolor paper, and I like to work with a very, very wet brush and go right in there and add in those nice shapes. And again, let's mix wet into wet and really mush around some color, some paint. And I know all these colors are gonna go together because guess what? They came in a tie-dye kit. And when something comes in a kit, it means that somebody else has done the work for you, so you can switch off your brain and just have a good time creating and making things. So, you know, if you ever see a paint supply of any kind that you're unfamiliar with, why not think about how you can use it in a way that is familiar to you? Now, here's a kind of fun idea, which is because this is tie-dye, and I know that it would be permanent if I used it on fabric. If I wanted to take something off the page, and instead of creating a scrapbook page, one of the things I could do is I could create something on fabric, but using a direct application like I am with a paintbrush. Now, I just want to show you very quickly, if I switch up to a larger sized brush, you'll see that the look is actually quite different, right? I'm able to fill in a circle much more completely and fully. I personally prefer the look of the little brush, even though it takes longer. But some people, you know, if you're busy and you got stuff going on and you don't want to take the time to futz around with a little brush, then by all means, use that nice big one. Do what works for you. I think that's the message over and over that I always try to tell people, especially when I teach, is do what works for you. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's just what you like, what appeals to you. You can, of course, splash across here. Any of your watercolor techniques will work. So you can see on my finished layout that what I did is I took the background that I made with the tie-dyes turned into watercolors, and actually I took inspiration from a page that I did earlier this season where I had this simple design with a photo on one side, my title on the other, and the doodle strip down the center. And if I move this closer to my layout here, you'll see how the design is exactly the same. I even stole the doodle strip from each of them. It works because, again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel with everything, whether it's supplies or design. You can absolutely and completely keep going in the same direction, just improving a little bit of your skills each and every time.